Buckle up your seatbelts and get a comfortable seat for a crazy look at some Angry Birds Star Wars Dark Side toys. In this video, the Cookie Monster strikes back at the nasty clone imposters. Let's do it.
Well, hey, may the force be with you. This is a Angry Birds knockoff set. And what is interesting is it's also an Angry Birds Star Wars knockoff set. And what is very curious there is it is fairly difficult to find knockoff Star Wars stuff back in the days when George Lucas had the hold. But of course we're in a different era now. And this set is very large. That's one thing I'll say about it. It wasn't that cheap. It cost me $40. And from what it looks like, it's a rip-off of the real game, which is the Attack battle game. As always with Dark Side stuff, the box artwork looks interesting. There's some strange things said. And overall, it's actually a very impressive, large toy. And maybe to get your head around exactly what this is a clone of, Star Wars and clones, in comes the real Angry Birds game. Now that toy there, in Australia, costs about $59, call it $60. So the one at the back was $40, this one is $60. It's going to be very curious to see the differences between those two toys. And while I've got the real set there in front of the knockoff set, I'll show you what you need to look for to tell you it's a real set, and it's down in that corner there. That's what you want to see to verify it's a real Angry Birds set, and the toy manufacturer is Hasbro. Well, let me take away this real set, which is in front of the fake set, and let me put in, it's on the ground now, that real one, a can of fly spray so you can just see how large that knockoff set is. Well, let me come in and spin it around because I want to show you the artwork on the back of the box. Well, there's a clear picture of the back of the box, and it's one of those knockoff sets which has really impressive artwork. But is the toy inside as impressive as what you see on the outside of the box? That's the big question. Well, I'm going to attempt to unbox it here on my toy review table. It's a monster. Here she comes. Whoa! Look at that. What a bunch of dark side wonderment. Ooh, so what's your first impressions, guys? It looks big, doesn't it? It looked really big, and what was really interesting was this artwork was behind that there, and that popped out of the box as well. You can stick that up on the wall and think you're in space. Well, there's this big plastic window, which I suppose stops the toys from falling out of the box. Just get rid of that. And inside here is all the Star Wars beauty. And I'm going to struggle in this review because I'm not a Star Wars expert, and I bet you I get the names wrong. Well, I suppose the way you get everything out is you put it over, oh, and it just falls out. Well, there's what came out of the box, and all of a sudden it's looking a lot smaller. Remembering I paid $40 for all this toy nonsense. And maybe if I come in and put the large box behind the toy joy there, we start to see how the dark side works. Look at the toys that came out of the box versus the size of the box. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the dark side. I'm pretty sure all those toys could have been packed into a much smaller box, but then you couldn't charge $40 for it, could you? Well, let's take a look at some of the components of this knockoff toy. That's the base, the main base of the AT-AT. It's all flimsy. That's part of the head, I dare say. That's one of the legs. It's only detailed on one side, but I think back on the box artwork it was detailed all over, and that would be part of its back. And like I said, it's all flimsy, but I suppose when you make all that in the right order, it makes a knockoff AT-AT. Here's the first launcher in this set. It's obviously a slingshot. Where I live, slingshots are banned, so straight away this toy has a prohibited weapon in it. I do notice there's an LED light here. I do notice it's got one of these tags. I'll pull this tag out. I suppose its batteries will engage. And I do notice there's a button there. Let's see what it does. That sounds like Angry Bird sounds to me. And there's a light flashing away. And I suspect this is a little lightsaber, since we're dealing with Star Wars. And how flimsy does it feel? I think you can see some flexing going on there. It feels a bit flimsy, and I notice that the seam there opens up when I pull it back. Welcome to the dark side. Well, here's the other launcher. It's actually quite large. When you get it down on the bench, you'll start to see its scale. And I suppose it looks quite nice, you know. Anyone who's, well, I suppose a Star Wars fan might want to elaborate on that. I'm saying it looks nice. Got a sound chip by the looks of it. It's got a light on the front. Maybe if I pull this back, it'll make a sound. Oh, fancy that. And what is nice, because it's so large, it's really easy to get a hold of this thing to do a launch. The problem I've seen of a lot of these things is they're really small and it's really hard to hold these and do a launch. Let's do a launch. It's got that sound going, and whooshka. Well, here are the bad guys, and it's the pigs. And I suppose they're Star Wars characters. Maybe you know their names. They look pretty good. They're pretty big. What's a crown one, man? Is that a Angry Birds thing or a Star Wars thing? And that on the end is Darth Vader. Well, if this thing fails at a game, I dare say, can you give it to your dog as a puppy toy? Because he got squeakies. And I know the squeakies really annoy some people. Well, here are the good guys, and that's the Angry Birds. I suppose you got Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Chewbacca, and C-3PO. I dare say you're wondering, do they squeak? Yes, they do. Well, here's a look at the red bird, which is Luke Skywalker. It's pretty roughly painted. I suppose that's part of the hallmarks of dark side stuff. You know, a bit of paint. You see on the beak there. It's just rough and ready. And let's take a look at C-3PO. Quite a strange shape. I suppose the one which I feel is missing is R2-D2. A bit of tail feather action there. Very strange indeed. And I better show you Chewbacca. People say, oh, you didn't show Chewbacca properly. He's like a little fur ball. Look at those little bags around his utility belt. Did Chewie have a belt? I can't remember. Well, that X-Wing launcher, as big as and impressive as that looks, there's one little problem with this. Let me show you. Let me put Luke in there. Redbird Luke. Okay, 3, 2, 1. It's a really weak launch. So I don't think I'll be doing much destruction with that launcher. Well, I'm sort of thinking this lightsaber slingshot is a good weapon of choice. I'm going to load up Redbird Luke, and I'm going to try and hit Rara the Noisy Lion. He's in the background there. I'm not a very good shot because slingshots are banned where I live, so I don't get much practice, do I? 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye, Rara. Oh! Sorry, Thomas. Well, I was aiming for Rara's head. Obviously, I didn't get it. Well, I built the AT-AT, and I reckon if I sneeze it would fall over. It's pretty unstable. There's its legs. And there's one little problem. Well, the pigs are nice and big in this set. I suppose that's nice, but the problem is that there's not many places where you can put them on this wondrous set, and it's a little bit like Kaplunk putting these guys on. Like I said, it's teetering to fall over. I suppose let's fire something at this and see what mess we can make. Okay, I'm loaded up with Chewbacca in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's a strike. Well, there's Chewie over there. The AT-AT at the top of it exploded, and maybe the next shot I'll aim for the legs. Okay, I'm going to use Han Solo. I hope it's Han Solo, and aim for the leg here. In 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, that's maximum points. Oh, let's look at the wreckage. And you know, it's funny, I'm starting to have fun. Dangerous when I start to have fun, isn't it? Han Solo, man, you did a cracking job there. Okay, I started a bit differently this time. I've actually got a pig hidden inside the head of the AT-AT, and I'm going to aim for that. There's Darth Vader there, some other pigs there. Let's see what we get. I'm going to use C-3PO. Let him into the slingshot. That squeezing sound gives me the heebie-jeebies. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Oh, headshot! Yes, the dark side is coming out of me. I'm having a lot of fun with this knockoff now. Isn't it funny when you start to slingshot stuff, how it starts to get really fun? And well done to C-3PO. Well, this time around, I'm going to aim here, this leg here. I'm going to use Princess Leia, and I'm shooting from a little bit further back this time. She's a funny shape with those bobs of hair out the side. I don't know what they're called. I suppose they've got a name. In 3, 2, 1, going for that leg. Ooh. Wasn't much power in it, but I've got the AT-AT down. 2 legs standing. Go the girl power. You know, I could actually go on all night doing this. I'm having fun. I believe that's the weapon of choice. I don't think that X-Wing launcher would do a thing. It's just weak. I mean, you'd hit it, but you wouldn't have as much fun. Maybe I should get the real AT-AT set out and compare it to this knockoff. Important to remember here, this is a $59 toy that I'm about to unbox here. You got to think about this versus what you've just seen, that knockoff. The birds are out. There's the machine. Well, I should point out we're getting a code to unlock an app. We're getting a character set like that. We're getting an AT-AT, which is actually quite large. I wasn't expecting it to be almost as big as the other one. And I'm getting some instructions. And I'm getting a launcher which fits a much smaller bird, but it's got a much better or much stronger feel to the spring than that other dark side one. Well, there are the two AT-ATs. That one there is a dark side one. Remembering it was $40 and it came in a massive box. The one next to it is the real McCoy one, $59. You can call it $60, so it's $20 more expensive than the knockoff. And it's got a lot more detail. It's quite an interesting. Well, it took me a while to build that and work out where the pieces go, and stupidly I put the head on first and it collapsed. It's got some bits here, you can sit the pigs in the legs here. There's some bits here you could knock out if you're a good shot. And it's got a much smaller set of little Angry Birds that you would fire. The knockoff one, well, I've sort of showed what it does, and in the end I had a lot of fun with that. Obviously the slingshot as a go here, I've got a funny feeling that's useless. But yeah, maybe the audience will have a bit to say about this one. I suppose the big question here is, would you get as much fun and playability out of the knockoff toy versus the real licensed Angry Birds toy? And what is very interesting is this licensed Angry Birds Star Wars toy came out of a much smaller box than the knockoff. Remember, this knockoff had a massive box, and yet the AT-AT is a little bit smaller. In the end, which dark side reigns supreme? May the Force be with you in trying to decide that one.
Okay, this is gonna get messy. I told you it would get messy. Where's my cookie? Ah!
Well, the Cookie Monster's destructive rage has exposed the dark side for us. This AT-AT here, and actually had the legs blue tacked on because the thing kept falling over. Look at that. Welcome to the dark side. It's broken. If we give it a few more whacks, it'll probably break even further. Here we go. Yep, she's busted now. Well, thank you, Cookie Monster, for a very important cameo visit. Go away. Now, I'm going to really struggle in this review because I'm not a Star Wars expert. And let's do another one. And there's the goodies inside. And I'm going to struggle in this review because I'm not a Star oh, God, what's wrong with me? And the birds are the good guys. I suppose you got... I've forgotten already. Let me load up Redbird Luke. I'm going to try and hit Rara the noisy lion, who's in the background there. I'm not a very good shot usually. In 3, 2, 1. Oh! I got the microcharges. Well, I was aiming for Rara's head. Somehow I brought down the microcharges above him. Well, I've built the AT-AT and it's pretty rough and ready. I don't know what to say. Well, I'm loading up a Chewbacca. 3, 2, 1. Oh, totally missed. I was aiming at the AT-AT and I got the Pez Angry Birds. Definitely fail real material. Okay, I've reset it up. I'm going to try and hit here. I'm going to use Princess Leia there, and I'm going to shoot from a fair way back this time. Bit more distance. In 3, 2, 1. Oh. That was a fail. And I'm getting a launcher which seems to have a better... Oh. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.